This is WYAR 88.3 FM, the voice of the Heritage Radio Society. WYAR is an independent, non-commercial, educational radio station with programming that encompasses all the best music from primarily the first 60 years of the 20th century. I'm Kent, and you're listening to Theme Street, a show all about the word on the street. And the word on the street today, one, part two.
One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Please, Mr. Bartender, listen here. I ain't here for trouble and have no fear. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. I don't want soda, no bubble gum. You got what I want, just serve me some. Since my baby's been gone, everything's lost. I'm on this kick and I can't get off. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Please, Mr. Bartender, listen here. I ain't here for trouble, so have no fear. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. My woman started me on this spree. I can't find her and she can't find me. She left this morning, said she wouldn't stay. She's been out all night and it's the break of day. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Please, Mr. Bartender, listen here. I ain't here for trouble, so have no fear. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. One more nip and make it strong. I got to find my baby. It takes all night long. One scotch, one bourbon, one beer.
One scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Written by Rudy Toombs and recorded by Amos Milburn in 1953. A song that was a hit, reaching number 2 in the R&B chart during its 14-week stay. The single lists the performers as Amos Milburn and his Aladdin Chicken Shackers after his first number 1 single, Chicken Shack Boogie. Amos Milburn kicking us off on WYAR 88.3 FM. You're listening to Theme Street, the show all about the word on the street. And the word on the street today, one, part two.
Lots of other girls you hypnotize. All of a sudden I've begun to realize as follows, my one and only. What am I gonna do if you turn me down when I'm so crazy over you? I'd be so lonely. Where am I gonna go if you turn me down? Why blacken all my skies are blue? I tell you I'm not asking any miracle. It can be done, it can be done. I know a clergyman who will grow lyrical and and make us one and make us one. So, my one and only, there isn't a reason why you should turn me down when I'm so crazy over you. It's time you woke up, it's time you spoke up, my praise you never chanted. Though we're not strangers, you see the danger of taking me for granted. And if you cared, you should have told me long ago. Dear, otherwise, how in the world was I to know? Oh, listen. There isn't a reason why you should turn me down when I'm so crazy over you.
I'm a tip-top daddy and I'm gonna hide my way, keep away from the corner, see what I got to say. Hold on one hand only, get ready for a ride. Give me one hand loose and I'll be satisfied. Give me free hand, baby, cause I wanna rock. Turn it loose in, baby, I won't blow my top. Give me free hand, woman, let it swing up my side. Give me one hand loose and I'll be satisfied. Hallelujah. But don't you cry me close, baby, this time is for real. Get ready for some rockin', pick 'em up and cut 'em down. Give me one hand loose and I'll be satisfied. Give me free hand, baby, cause I wanna rock. Turn it loose in, baby, I won't blow my top. Give me free hand, baby, let it swing by my side. But give me one hand loose and I'll be satisfied. Keep away from the corner, see what I got to say. Hold on one hand on, get ready for a ride. Get one hand loose and I'll be satisfied. Give me free hand, baby, cause I wanna rock. Turn it loose in, baby, I won't blow my top. Give me free hand, warm, my legs swing by my side. Give me one hand loose and I'll be satisfied.
One silver dollar, bright silver dollar, changing hands, endlessly rolling, wasted and stolen, changing hands, spent for a baby's trinket, won by a gambler's lust, pierced by an outlaw's bullet, and lost in the blood-red dust.
That the point.
One silver dollar, changing hands. Love is a shining dollar, bright as a church bell's chime, gambled and spent and wasted and lost in the dust of time. One silver dollar, one silver dollar, changing hearts, changing lives, changing hands.
Tommy Dorsey, Opus 1 from 1944, originally composed by Cy Oliver. It was a big hit for Dorsey, known as the Sentimental Gentleman of Swing because of his smooth-toned trombone playing. In 1939, Dorsey hired arranger Cy Oliver away from the Jimmy Lunsford Band, becoming one of the first African Americans with a prominent role in a white band, although Fletcher Henderson, another African American composer, had joined the Benny Goodman Orchestra as the arranger some years earlier. We heard from Marilyn Monroe, One Silver Dollar from 1954, written by Ken Darby and Lionel Newman, and being first performed by Monroe in the movie River of No Return, a Western co-starring Robert Mitchum. Monroe nearly drowned while filming the movie in the Canadian Rockies. She had donned chest-high hip waders during rehearsal to protect her costume, and when she slipped on a rock, her waders filled with water, and she was unable to rise. Mitchum and others had to jump into the river to rescue her. We heard Charlie Feathers, One Hand Loose, from 1956. Charlie started out as a session musician at Sun Studios, eventually releasing a couple of singles for Sun Records, but his best-known work would come from time at King Records out of Cincinnati, which was founded in 1943 and recorded some great hillbilly and R&B music in the 40s and 50s, and is primarily known for launching the career of one James Brown on its Federal Records division. And we started off the show with Jane Green, My One and Only, What Am I Gonna Do, from 1927. Originally titled What Am I Gonna Do If You Turn Me Down, this George and Ira Gershwin song was introduced by Fred Astaire, Betty Compton, and Gertrude McDonald in the stage musical Funny Face. It opened on Broadway in November 1927 and was the first show performed in the newly built Alvin Theater, now the Neil Simon Theater. It was this show that Fred Astaire first danced in evening clothes and a top hat. You're listening to WYAR 88.3 FM, and this is Theme Street, the show all about the word on the street. And the word on the street today, one, part two.
Some other girls are filling your head with jive. So now you're acting like you don't know that I'm alive. Love, you better wake up, yeah, before we break up and you lose me. Look to me, the one who really loves you. Susie only wants you until the day. That she'll again have her true love who's far, far away. So love, you better wake up, yeah, before we break up and you lose me. Look to me, the one who really loves you. Jenny only wants you 'cause she thinks she has to have everyone. Minnie only wants you 'cause she thinks that hurting me would be fun. Oh, silly Lily, you know she doesn't really want you with the love that's true. In fact, there's no other girl in this whole wide world who can love you like I do. They get tired of you, then they're gonna put you down. Then they ain't gonna want you hanging around. So love, you better wake up, yeah, before we break up and you lose me. Look to me, the one who really loves you. I do really, really love you.
No one to cry to, no one to say goodnight, no one to tell my troubles to, no one to sigh to, no one to hold me tight, no one to cheer me when I'm blue. I go home to my lonely room and find there's no one there. And each night I beg of you, please answer this one prayer and give me someone to cry to, someone to say I do, someone to whisper I love you. This one prayer and give me someone to cry to, someone to say I do, someone to whisper I love you.
baby jumped up this morning and sat on the side of the bed. He said, I'm leaving you, baby. And this is just what I said. I said, I can't make you stay if you want to go. But it's high time, baby, that you should know. One monkey don't stop the show. in the morning, I got me a man at 4. Some women cry when a man leave them dry long slow, but I found out something long time ago. One monkey don't stop the show. One monkey don't stop the show. So when he gets too big for his pants, get a spring brand new one and give him a chance. Chicken hearted and crying when he'd walk out the door, 'cause I was just young and simple. Ha! Ain't like that no more. 'Cause I had a hard way to go before I learned to score. But I'm here to tell you, and I should know, one monkey don't stop the show. One monkey don't stop the show. I let him do anything he choose, 'cause there's a million men who can fill his shoes. One monkey don't stop the show. One monkey don't stop the show. One monkey don't stop the show. And you can tell him I told you so.
Big Maybelle, One Monkey Don't Stop No Show from 1955. It was issued as the B-side of her original version of Whole Lotta Shakin' Going On, which was first recorded by Maybelle, though best known as the 1957 version by Jerry Lee Lewis. White artists re-recorded many songs by African-American artists and usually had bigger hits due to increased exposure. It was a common trend in early American music. Before that, Irving Mills and his Hotsy Totsy Gang featuring Bix Beiderbecke. This was the first take of the song called Loved One from 1930. Bix Beiderbecke was one of the most influential jazz soloists of the 1920s, a cornet player noted for an inventive lyrical approach and purity of tone, with such clarity of sound that one contemporary famously described it like shooting bullets at a bell. At the beginning of the 21st century, Beiderbecke's music continued to reside mostly out of the mainstream, but scholars largely agree that he was an important innovator in early jazz. Both Beiderbecke and Louis Armstrong were key figures in the evolution of the jazz soloist. According to the critic Terry Teachout, they are the two most influential figures in the early history of jazz, and the twin lines of descent from which most of today's jazz can be traced. We heard the Sons of the Pioneers, No One to Cry To from 1946. Founded in 1934 by Roy Rogers, Bob Nolan, and Tim Spencer, the Sons of the Pioneers was one of the U.S.'s earliest Western singing groups and inspired many to follow. Bob Nolan is generally regarded as one of the finest Western songwriters of all time, composing numerous hits for the group, including the standards Cool Water and Tumbling Tumbleweeds. And we started off that set with Mary Wells, The One Who Really Loves You from 1962, produced by Smokey Robinson for the first solo female star of Motown Records, Mary Wells. Along with the Supremes, the Miracles, the Temptations, and the Four Tops, Wells was said to have been part of the charge in black music onto radio stations and record shelves of mainstream America, bridging the color lines in music at the time. You're listening to WYAR 88.3 FM. This is Theme Street, the show all about the word on the street. And the word on the street today. 1. Part 2.
Well, one kind of fever last year
When one kind favor as you, when one kind favor I last to you, see that my grave is kept clean. Everybody do. When one kind favor about you. When one kind favor everybody do. When you to lay down and that's all of you. Beating in my hand got cold. My heart stopped beating in my hand got cold. My heart stopped beating, my hand got cold. Couldn't see my way to save my soul. Long time.
So hold me tight, never let me go. Make the feeling run up my spine. You know I'm yours and you are mine. Now that we are married, baby, we don't have to worry. Now we're one. Now we're one and you're my bride. We don't have to run and hide. Every time I wanna hold your hand, afraid someone won't understand. Now that we are married, baby, we don't have to worry. Now we're one. Well, I wanna jump to the moon and yell out loud. I feel like I'm walking on an 18th cloud. We'll put all our fears and cares behind. Ever since we heard the wedding bells chime. And now we're one and I love you so. Hold me tight, never let me go. Make the feeling run up my spine. You know I'm yours and you are mine. Now that we are married, baby, we don't have to worry. Now we're one. Well, I wanna jump to the moon and yell out loud. I feel like I'm walking on an 18th cloud. We'll put all our fears and cares behind. Ever since we heard the wedding bells chime. And now we're one and you're my bride. We don't have to run and hide. Every time I wanna hold your hand, afraid someone won't understand. Now that we are married, baby, we don't have to worry. Now we're one. Now how we're one. Now how we're one. Now how we're one.
I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting betting everything I've got on you. I'm giving all my love to one baby. Lord help me if a baby don't come through. I've got a great big amount saved up in my love account, honey, and I've decided love divided in two won't do, so I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything I've got on you. I'm betting everything I've got on you. I'm hoping that you make my dreams come true. You send your girlfriends on their way, and I'll tell my boyfriend to stay away. You for me and me for you. Oh, I'm throwing all my troubles out the door. 'Cause trouble don't worry me no more. Now you're my everything, my winter, fall and spring. I'm betting everything I've got on you. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything I've got on you, just you. I'm giving all my love to one baby. Lord help me if my baby don't come through, come through. I've got a great big amount saved up in my love account, and I've decided that love divided into won't do. I'm warning you that I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything, everything, everything I've got on you. I'm betting everything that I've got on you.
Here he comes, the boy I'll always love. He's the one that I've been dreaming of. He's my pride, he's my joy, he's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy. He's my one and only Jimmy boy. Other girls were just walking by, then they wish Jimmy was their guy. He's my pride, he's my joy, he's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy. He's my one and only Jimmy boy. It seems my love for him gets stronger each day, and I keep waiting for the time when I will hear him say, do you know I want to marry you? 'Cause inside I know our love is true. He's my pride, he's my joy, he's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy. He's my one and only Jimmy boy. He's my pride, he's my joy, he's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy. He's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy. He's my one and only Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy, Jimmy boy.
The Girlfriends, my one and only Jimmy Boy from 1963, written by David Gates, frontman and co-lead singer of the eventual group Bread. The Girlfriends was founded as a result of the splintering of the Los Angeles-based studio group The Blossoms. The four members of the Blossoms, consisting of Gloria Jones, Nanette Williams, Fanita James, and Darlene Wright. Phil Spector created the group Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans with Fanita James and Darlene Wright, while Gloria Jones and Nanette Williams formed the Girlfriends with Carolyn Willis, formerly of the Ikeettes, a trio of female backing vocalists for the Ike and Tina Turner Revue. Before that, the Boswell Sisters, I'm Putting All My Eggs in One Basket from 1936. Written by Irving Berlin for the 1936 film Follow the Fleet, where it was introduced by Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, with Astaire having a huge hit with the song in 1936. The Boswell Sisters hailed from uptown New Orleans and attained national prominence in the U.S. in the 1930s during the twilight years of the Jazz Age and the onset of the Great Depression. When assessing their legacy, scholars claim the Boswell Sisters made real jazz commercially viable, destigmatizing the music and opening its appreciation to the wider American public. We heard Buddy Holly, Now We're One from 1958. This Bobby Darin tune was released on the Buddy Holly Story Volume 2, the fifth album released by Buddy Holly, a sequel compilation, and the second album to be released posthumously. John Lennon and Paul McCartney saw Holly for the first time when he appeared at the London Palladium. The two had recently met and begun their musical association. They studied Holly's records, learned his performance style and lyricism, and based their act around his persona. Inspired by Holly's insect-themed crickets, they chose to name their band The Beatles. And we started off that set with the legend, Lightnin' Hopkins. Listed as One Kind Favor on this Document Records recording, the song is actually See That My Grave Is Kept Clean, a song recorded originally by the father of the Texas blues, Blind Lemon Jefferson, in 1927, Jefferson being an important influence on Texas bluesman Lightnin' Hopkins. You're listening to WYAR 88.3 FM, the voice of the Heritage Radio Society. WYAR is only on the air thanks to contributions from listeners like you. If you'd like to keep hearing commercial-free radio playing songs you love and introducing you to new ones, please consider supporting WYAR. You can connect with us at our website at wyar.org or through the good old postal service at P.O. Box 414, Yarmouth, Maine 04096. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'm Kent, and this is Theme Street, the show all about the word on the street. And the word on the street today, Part 2.
For no one, it passes you by. It rolls on forever, like the clouds in the sky. Time waits for no one, goes on endlessly. It's just like a river flowing out to the sea. You'll find that love is like this. Each precious moment we miss will never, ever return again. Don't let us
take love while we may. You'll find that love is like this. Each precious moment we miss will never, ever return again. So don't let us throw one sweet moment away. Time waits for no one. Let's take love while we may.
My girlfriend was a babysitting down the street, and so I bought some soda pop and sandwich meat. She laid it on the table and I took a seat, but I never got a chance to drink or eat, 'cause one kiss led to another, and another, and another. One kiss led to another, and another, and another. The lights were low when she turned on the radio. I could hear the music playing soft and low. I said we'd better dance before I flip my lid. We both got up to dance, but we never did, 'cause one kiss led to another, and another, and another. One kiss led to another, and another, and another. I thought the night was young until I saw the clock. The clock was striking midnight, it was quite a shock. I started for the door, but she grabbed my sleeve. She put her arms around me, man, I couldn't leave. 'Cause one kiss led to another, and another, and another. Ooh. One kiss led to another, and another, and another. Ooh. One kiss led to another, and another. Ooh. And another. Ooh. And another.
I went to the old home where I once loved to roam. I went to the old home and found everyone gone. How sad and how drear, no voice could I hear. There was no one to welcome me home. no voice could I hear. There was no one to welcome me home. I went to the spring where I once loved to play, and the water so clear seemed to whisper and say, and the water so fair seemed to whisper to me, there is no one to welcome you home. No one to welcome you home. No one to welcome me there. How sad and how drear, no voice could I hear. There was no one to welcome me home. No one to welcome me home. No one to welcome me there. Someday I'll be whole, the streets of pure gold. Then there'll be someone to welcome me home.
The Blue Sky Boys, No One to Welcome Me Home from 1936. Brothers Bill and Earl Bollock, known as the Blue Sky Boys, recorded their first session in Charlotte, North Carolina in June 1936. The song we heard was recorded in October 1936, also in Charlotte, North Carolina, the brothers' home state, with Bill on mandolin and Earl on guitar. Before that, the Coasters' One Kiss Led to Another from 1956, a song written by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, with Stoller playing piano on this early Coasters release, which was their follow-up single to Down in Mexico. The legendary songwriting team of Lieber and Stoller wrote most of the Coasters' memorable songs, including Searchin' and Young Blood. And we started off that set with the majestic Helen Forrest, Time Waits for No One from 1944. Following her years with the Harry James Band, Helen Forrest had her best-selling recording as a solo performer with this ballad from the film Shine On Harvest Moon. It reached number 2 on Billboard and was joined that year by 3 other top 5 hits that featured her singing with Dick Haymes. Well, it's about time for us to go, but we'll leave you with one more. Here's Johnny Mercer, One for My Baby, and One More for the Road, a song originally written by Mercer, with Harold Arlen composing for the movie musical The Sky's the Limit from 1943. The version we'll hear features Paul Weston and his orchestra and was recorded in 1950 by the lyricist himself. Hope you enjoy this one by one of my faves, Johnny Mercer, and we really do appreciate you listening today. If you'd like to hear this show again or any of the other past shows, go to our Facebook page at WYAR Heritage Radio, or just search online using the hashtag ThemeStreetWYAR. And join us next Monday at 7 a.m. for the next episode of Theme Street. What's the word on the street gonna be? Tune in and find out right here on WYAR 88.3 FM. Until next time, I'm Kent, and the word on the street today has been one. Part 2.
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I've got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I got the routine, so drop another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad, I wish you'd make the music dreamy and sad. Could tell you a lot, but that's not in a gentleman's code. Just make it one for my baby and one more for the road. You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I've got a lot of things to say. And when I'm gloomy, you simply got to listen to me until it's talked away. Well, that's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. So thanks for the beer. I hope you didn't mind my bend in your ear. Don't let it be said that little Freddie can't carry his load. Just make it one for my baby and one more for the road, that long, long road, that long